meeting. So we're going to start by sitting a little bit in meditation. For us who are just beginners in meditation, I think is a very useful way to face the exercise of meditating as an exercise of learning to deal with your own mind. Basically, what we do, you give the mind a goal. So try to be quiet, try to be peaceful, try to be quiet, and then you work with that. So I see you can't start from the principle that the mind is quiet naturally. If you just stop disturbing the mind is quiet. When somebody wants to ask Luang Por Chah, what is the fastest, the quickest way to get the mind peaceful? Luang Por Chah said, don't do anything. If you don't do nothing, the mind is already peaceful. You just stay out of the way. Just stay. So it's very much an exercise of renunciation, letting go, acceptance. Any of these qualities that bring this kind of relaxing, letting go, any of such qualities are good. For each person is different. Some people, they have good results if you put an attitude of compassion in your mind. The attitude of compassion makes your mind calm and relaxed. Other people, they might work better with a sense of renunciation. Other people might work better with a sense of devotion or courage or humbleness or anything. There's really no rule here. Like it's whatever mental state you feel works well for you, you should try that. So what I can say doesn't work very well is like a mental state that tends toward tension, like desire, anger, frustration, greed, impatience, all this kind of mental state that tends toward getting tight. Those will not work very well. But any mental state that leads you toward relaxing, letting go, being calm, like a release, they work well. Even there is one mental stage people don't talk about too much, but in the sutta is very well mentioned very often, is dispassion, disenchantment. For example, you thought the world was a great place. The world is great. There's so much happening. And then you realize that the world is not so great, actually. There's a lot of suffering in the world. And then you feel dispassion towards the world. So that dispassion, if it is a calm and balanced, not too exaggerated to the point it becomes aversion, that dispassion can be a good mental state for meditation, a sense of release, letting go, renouncing, giving up. But it's it's up to each person to find out, because the thing is, your mind, you are the problem. Basically, you are creating confusion in your mind. Now, when you get very good at meditation, you don't do much. You just do like Luang Por Chah said, you just stop. You just stop and then the mind becomes peaceful. But at first, it's not so. That requires a knowledge of the mind. It's a little bit subtle. It's not hard to do, but it's just that people don't see. People, their eyes are not very clear, so they cannot see something which is very is really right in front of you. But people, their eyesight's not very good yet. But if you can't, you have that insight. You can try. Just stop. Just leave things alone. Just stop. That is the quickest and easiest way to get to your mind to be peaceful. But if that is too subtle, like it's a very subtle thing that you don't know how to do yet, then try to bring up a wholesome mind state to your mind, whether it is gratitude, letting go, humbleness, compassion, friendship, acceptance, whatever works well for you. So just don't sit meditation with the attitude of greed, of hatred, of impatience, want to get something, want something to stop. I want my mind to stop thinking. I want my mind to be quiet. If you do that, it's counterproductive. I know it's like until now, you only learn how to do things through desire. I want something, so I have to desire the thing that I want. So if I want to make the mind peaceful, I need to desire to make the mind peaceful. That works for worldly things. Now you're dealing with the mind. Now it may not make sense to you now because you only see the mind from one angle. Once you see a bigger picture of the mind, you say, oh yeah, it's obvious. Of course not. If you desire peace, you don't get peace. It's very obvious once you understand how the mind really works. For now, it seems like a counterintuitive. No, you desire peace, you don't get peace. But be patient. One day you're going to understand. It's not that hard. It's very, very simple. That's the main reason why people don't understand. It's because it's too simple. They try to understand with the intellect. In the intellect, it's not very good to understand very simple things. The intellect is better with more complicated things. So for now, we're going to sit just 15 minutes. So just put yourself in a wholesome state. Put your mind in a wholesome state. Sit in your chair or wherever you're sitting with your back straight so you can relax. Let the breath come in and out naturally. Don't try to control the breathing. And so you just sit feeling the sensation of the breath. You don't need to think about the breath. You don't need to analyze the breath. You need to grasp the breath. You need to control the breath. You just sit and feel it. The same way, like suppose you will listen to a music. You just sit and you listen to the sound. You listen to the sound come through your ear. So you're going to sit and feel the sensation of the breath in silence, without thinking about it, without doing anything. Just sit and feel the breath. Now you're going to feel it's a physical sensation. Most everybody will feel it in the nose area. So you can feel the friction between the air and your skin. Now, when you inhale, the air scrapes against your skin, so you can feel this tactile sensation. So you just sit there feeling that sensation. That's it. There's not really anything else to do. You don't need to pacify the mind. You don't need to get enlightened. You don't need to stop the thinking process. You just need to sit and feel the breath. Everything else happens naturally. If you can keep the mind in that sensation of the breath in a relaxed and wholesome manner, with time, the mind slowly starts to calm down. You cannot control that, how long it's going to take. It's not up to you. It's up to your karma. If you want to use a Buddhist language, say it's up to your karma. That it depends on what kind of parami you have. It might be quick, it might be longer. It may take a few tries, may take a few years of practice. It may take a few lifetimes of practice. It doesn't matter. Now, if you understand why we're doing this, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You just do it because it is important to do it. So for now, just try to sit in a wholesome, calm attitude. Bring your attention towards the breath, and that's it. Don't do anything else. Don't try to fix your mind. Don't try to stop your thinking. Don't do nothing. Just sit there and feel the breath. Just keep feeling the sensation of the breath. Try to do as an exercise of renunciation. Renounce your clever ideas. Renounce your worries about the future. Renounce your worries about the past. Just make it as an exercise as this much is enough. Just much is enough. For 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you can worry as much as you want. Just 15 minutes. Just be humble for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you go back to your concerns, to your house, to your children, to your job, as you wish. Just 15 minutes. It is worth it. It is an interesting experiment. Just do it. See what happens. See how bad can it be. Like if you just be content right here, right now, for 15 minutes. What happens? No, just try. See how it goes. Okay. So let's try to sit for 15 minutes and then we'll talk again. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammam sangham namasami. expert on religions, but I get the impression that you can divide religions in three main groups. For some religion, they paint the picture as if the life for humans is like a war between good and evil. Good must defeat evil. Evil must disappear. Only good should exist. Everything that is evil must disappear. It's one vision of life. Other religions, they see as good and evil as two different forces, and they need to be in harmony. Good and evil need to be in harmony. They need to coexist in a peaceful manner. But Buddhism doesn't see in either of these visions. Buddhism just see good and evil as a conditioned phenomena. That means good has conditions, exists due to conditions. Without conditions, good has no sense, there's no meaning. Evil, the same thing. Evil is only evil if you look from a certain point of view. So in ultimate reality, there is none of that. There is no good, there is no evil. Now this is just a conditioned point of view that results in people seeing things as good against evil. Basically, you can say that good is, for example, if you plant corn, so if it rains, you just say, oh, this is good, it's going to rain. But if you're going to the beach, it starts raining, you say, oh, this is bad, it's going to rain. This is going to ruin my vacations. So, but the rain itself is not good or evil. Rain just rains. It doesn't have any opinion about people. Rain is just a natural phenomenon. It doesn't care if you're going to the beach or if you're going to plant corn. It doesn't have any opinion whatsoever. Rain is just a natural phenomenon. So that can go deep. The same principle applies to many, many, many layers of life, many, many layers of existence, and many, many layers of your own mind. So when you start to study the mind more and more, you can see that you can see that play going inside your head. The mind creating aversion toward what it identifies as evil, and the mind creating desires toward what it identified as good. But it's just an opinion. It's just a creation. The mind like this, therefore this is good. I don't like that, therefore this is bad. It's just a creation of your own mind. So Buddhism, it has this view that good and evil is just a situation. It is a relative to your point of view. So human beings, for example, have a very common experience. We all share a lot of experience in our life. For example, we all breathe oxygen. So we say oxygen is good. But suppose if we were to breathe a different substance like a methane or some other substance, hydrogen, then maybe oxygen would be a poison to us. But we breathe oxygen, so we say oxygen is good. Everybody agrees oxygen is good. But oxygen is not good. Oxygen is just oxygen. We are the ones who like it because it's favorable for what we like. Then we say oxygen is good. But oxygen itself is nothing. Oxygen is just nothing. It is what it is. There's nothing special about it. It's not good or not evil. It just is what it is. It's just natural. So if you study a little bit of the suttas, it has some interesting stories there, like telling about the past, telling about the future. From those stories, what you can capture is that the world goes through cycles of good and evil, where most everybody is good, and then there are cycles where most everybody is evil. In the common sense that we understand, like violence, selfishness, hurting one another, no, not helping one another, this kind of stuff. And from that, what you can see is that good and evil are impermanent. Good is not self-sustaining. Good itself degenerates and becomes evil. Evil itself is not sustainable. Evil itself, after a while, starts to degenerate and becomes good. Good exists because of evil. Evil exists because of good. For example, it is said that the next Buddha will arise many, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of years in the future, many millions of years in the future. And it said that before the next Buddha arises, mankind will degenerate more and more, keep degenerating, become worse and worse and worse and worse, to the point where there's just people not much different than animals, just violence everywhere. People don't respect one another. There is no culture. There is no peaceful existence. There is only violence everywhere you go. But that starts to change. And the reason why it changes is because evilness is unsustainable. After a while, people start to get tired of evilness. After a while, one person just look at the other person and say, what if you don't steal from one another? Just let's try not stealing from one another for 1 week. See what happens. So they stop stealing from one another. They say, that was nice. Yeah, that was nice. I had another idea. Let's stop killing one another. Let's see what happens. So they stop killing one another. They say, that was nice. This is actually quite good, isn't it? So little by little, they start to develop appreciation for goodness. They start to like goodness again. So they become infatuated with goodness. So the more and more they practice goodness, they start to become more moral. They stop hurting one another. They stop stealing from one another. They develop compassion. They feel pleasure in helping one another. They feel pleasure in wholesome mind states. They feel pleasure in gratitude. They feel pleasure in humbleness. They feel pleasure in compassion, in respect, in all kinds of wholesome mind states. And as they do that, they become more and more happy. They experience more and more happiness. Their lifetime becomes longer. The lifetime becomes like hundreds of years, 100 years, 200 years, 500 years. Less diseases, more happiness. The food is start to abound in the land. There's no hunger. There's no thirst. There's no diseases. There's no war. So people become very happy. Very, very happy. Life is very peaceful, very happy. But after a while, like if that lasts too long, that also degenerates. After a while, people just, perhaps, for example, one generation was born already in that state of happiness. Nobody remembers pain anymore. Nobody remembers suffering anymore. So they just assume, well, things are like this. No, life is just happy. No. They don't understand that is impermanent. That is, so they, and like any other sensation in life, if you repeat that sensation very often, you stop feeling it. For example, your house has a smell, right? But you don't feel that smell. But somebody who visits your house, he feels that smell because he's a visitor. He's not used to that smell. But you live there every day, you lose the capacity to feel that smell. Your mouth has a taste, but you don't feel it because it's a constant taste in your mouth, so you don't feel it. Any sensation that you feel is a constant sensation, you lose the capacity to perceive that sensation. It doesn't stimulate your mind anymore. So when people live in happiness like this for a long time, they just becomes boring. They don't see value. They don't remember suffering anymore. They just assume life is good, so there's nothing to worry about. And then the opposite starts to happen. They start to feel delight in doing things that are evil. Like they become, for example, they take something that doesn't belong to them. So they say, oh, this was nice. Now I have two. I only had one. I took this one. Now I have two. So this is nice. So they just, oh, this is fun. So they start to become more selfish. They find pleasure in being selfish. They start to it goes like that now. Others see them doing that, they start to act the same, and then they see, oh, people who are selfish get more than people who are honest. So they see selfishness is good. Selfishness leads to more pleasure, more happiness. So more and more people start to act like that. It becomes just like the same thing that happened before. It happens again to the other side. They became infatuated with evilness. They become infatuated with sensual pleasures. They become infatuated with selfishness. Even violence. They start, oh, violence is good. Violence is good. I should be violent. Violence is good. They really get that idea in their head. So, and then, as you can imagine, their world starts to degenerate again and again and again. It goes downhill from that until it reaches bottom. When you reach bottom, you start to rise again. Rise until you reach the top, and then they start to degenerate and rise, degenerate, rise and degenerate. It's kind of, the cycles keep repeating endlessly. This is what in Buddhism we call samsara. So people get stuck into that cycle. And so Buddhism, we do practice goodness. But it's not because goodness is really the final goal or anything all that special. We just practice goodness because for some reason the way out is toward goodness. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it has to be somewhere. So it is toward goodness. So we practice goodness. We develop wholesome mind states. If you develop wholesome mind states, the possibility of liberation becomes manifest. Buddhism doesn't really teach about fixing the world, making the world perfect. Buddhist teachings teach about goodness, but not because goodness is a goal on itself. We teach about goodness because those who want to reach liberation has to go through goodness. Goodness is a necessary condition to enlightenment. So when it is like that, there's also, besides the teaching about goodness, also you find the teaching about that which is beyond good and evil. Or like Luang Por Chah used to say, Ajahn Chah used to say, how do you say in English? Like, knock head near beyond causes and conditions, beyond suffering and happiness, beyond life and death, beyond good and evil. He would say, that's what the place of peace really is, like permanent peace, liberation. So if it is like that, if you suppose it is like that, somebody may ask, well, if that is like that, so what is the difference between good and evil? Goodness leads to happiness, like long-lasting happiness. Evilness leads to short-lived happiness and long-lasting suffering. But besides that, there's not really much difference actually. Besides the point that goodness opens the door to liberation, while evilness closes those doors. Other than that, there's no really much about it. For example, like suppose you have a religious view that only goodness should exist. Evilness must be destroyed. Well, evil people are just people like us. They just are in a different mind state than we are. There's nothing really all that much that separates us from what you call evil people. And besides, who is the one deciding who is evil and who is good? Now, who's the one labeling people as good and evil? Because that's also an interesting question. Well, this person's evil. Okay, according to who? Who's saying that? Does that person is know exactly what he's talking about, or it's just an opinion. No. You have this point of view. From your point of view, that person's evil. But from another point of view, that person is good. Like a person who is a thief, for example. I bet you in his mind, he doesn't think he's a bad person. In his mind, somehow he justifies stealing from people. Maybe he say, well, I didn't have the same opportunity you had. I suffered violence when I was a kid. I didn't have a mother and father. I didn't go to school. I have a difficulty in learning. I cannot get a proper job. People mistreat me. People have prejudice against me. In his mind, somehow, I guarantee you that he doesn't think he's a bad person. No, he doesn't think so. Nobody really thinks that. So, for example, some people are so certain that they are good people that they are willing to destroy everybody who doesn't fit inside their idea of goodness. So that goodness becomes like a bulldozer who crushes everybody under it. No. So a person has become has a view about goodness, and because of that view about goodness, he is capable of destroying everybody around him. Now, depends on how short-sighted that person is, how self-centered that person is. Only people like me are good. Everybody else is evil. Therefore, they must be destroyed. But when you think they must be destroyed, you become the evil person. So you see that this thing they cycle, like they keep rolling together. Good and evil, they roll together. So what I tell people usually is that you have to have respect for evil people. They have the right to exist. How do I know they have the right to exist? Because they exist. That's why I know they have the right. Because they are here. They exist. They have the right to be there. Nobody has the duty. There are two things in life that I think you can't demand from anybody. You cannot demand love. You cannot demand wisdom. You can't demand people to love you, for example. It doesn't happen like that. Love doesn't come through demanding. You're mandatory. You must love me. It doesn't work like that. The same thing with wisdom. People, they're not foolish because they want to. They just don't have it. That there's no way to force anybody to become wise. There is no way to demand somebody to be wise. People don't become wiser because you have demanded that they become wise. It doesn't work like that. I think people become wise going through stupidity. Stupidity is the beginning of wisdom. You start stupid, and it's little by little you learn until you become wise. If I understand the Buddhist teaching correctly, once you become wise, if you don't use that wisdom to attain liberation, you're going to regress. In time, that wisdom will degenerate again into foolishness. And foolishness develops into wisdom, and the wisdom develops into foolishness. It just keeps cycling back and forth like this. What the Buddha teaches that you develop wisdom, and then you break that cycle. Using that wisdom, that power you have developed, you break the cycle, you break it, get out of it. If for any other reason, just because there's nothing really wrong with the cycle. Maybe it's just how people learn. Maybe everything is fine. Maybe everything is just the way it is. Like maybe just that's where wise people come from foolish people. And maybe those foolish people, they once were very wise, but they degenerated and became foolish. And then there's no guarantee that these people in the future, through their actions, they're going to suffer. This is a very easy to observe phenomenon. When you act badly, you suffer. Through that suffering, people start to learn. Nobody really. That's the reason why I would say, human beings are from human beings onwards. You are capable of enlightenment. Because human beings have this characteristic. Human beings, the mind of human beings lean towards happiness. So having that characteristic inside yourself, when in contact with suffering, the persons little by little start to find ways to get out of that suffering. At first, they will try the normal things they have done before: more pleasure, more material good, more vanity, more pride, more ego. But in time, I think, it might take a few lifetimes or not, but sooner or later, because mind is impermanent, mind also is impermanent. Because mind is impermanent, sooner or later, the person will come to the conclusion, you know what, this is not working. This is not working. What if I try goodness? What if, instead of selfishness, what if I try friendship? What instead of acquiring, getting more stuff for myself, more material goods, what if I try contentment? Which one can bring more happiness? Acquiring money or contentment? So it's just a matter of time, because, like I said, mind is unsustainable. Whether it's evilness or goodness inside of a human mind is unsustainable. It is impermanent. These are cycles that come and go. If you guide your mind well, your mind will go towards goodness. And that cycle of goodness can last a long, long time, maybe many thousands of lives. But even that is impermanent. Like, that doesn't last. That is not safe. That is not guaranteed. The only time, according to Buddhist teachings, the only time that becomes guaranteed is that when you attain the first stage of enlightenment, called Sotapanna. It said that once a person gets to that level, the mind doesn't degenerate anymore, because, like, in my opinion, it's like an important piece of that equipment is broken. For example, you have a car and you break the radiator. So the car will keep running a little bit, but it will break for sure. Without the radiator, it's just a matter of time before the car overheat and explodes or break. Something will break. So without the radiator, your car will keep going a little bit, maybe 7 minutes, 7 hours, and then it will break. So Sotapanna, in my point of view, Sotapanna is something similar. Something is destroyed inside of the mind, even though you're not fully enlightened yet, but it's just a matter of time. It doesn't go back anymore. Like, whatever could make the mind degenerate has been removed. So the mind will keep going for a while, and then eventually it just that prison of samsara just comes undone. Is unsustainable. Without that central piece, samsara becomes unsustainable and it breaks, and then the person attains enlightenment. So when people ask me, Ajahn, should I be a good or a bad person? I say, be a good person. Say, why, Ajahn? Because it's more happiness, it's better, it's more pleasant, it's good for you, it's good for other people. It makes your life better, it makes other people's life better, and it opens the possibility of enlightenment. Even if you don't want enlightenment, possibility is always good, If you have options, even if you don't want it, it's good, always good. There's no harm in having options, Even if you don't take the option, it's still, there you go, there's an option over there. If you decide to go, you go. You don't want to go, you don't. Nobody has the duty to be enlightened. You don't have the duty to be enlightened. But if you feel interested, enlightenment seems to me exists, and people are capable of enlightenment. So, or if I'm feeling very lazy, people say, well, if somebody asks me, like, Ajahn, why don't you do evil actions? Because I like goodness. I just like it. Why evil people can be like that? Why cannot be like that? Like, why can I not be the same? Evil people just like to do evil things. Like they think it's fun. They like it. They like to destroy. Like so sometimes you go to the big city, you see the place they make a beautiful like building. Somebody go with the spray painting and make everything ugly. They like it ugly. That's how they like it. They don't like beautiful things. They see a garden, they stomp on it, they throw trash on it. That's their liking. That is like irresistible. For them, that is attractive. No. Inside their mind, that is attractive. So they have the duty to, they have the possibility of, they have the, they have the right to be like that. So I also have the right to like goodness. I have the right to like, to help people. I like helping people. I like building beautiful things. I like nature. I don't like destroying nature. I like to preserve nature. I just like it. I don't need to make a big fuss over it. Oh, because I am the good person. This is the right path. No, I just like it. Just a personal preference. Why not? Well, why can't I have a personal preference as well as anybody else? But you can see that in many different ways. I just saying that be careful even with the idea of goodness. The idea of goodness is not safe. It's not guaranteed. The goodness is still a worldly phenomenon. Therefore, it's not for sure. It's not safe 100%. You cannot hide behind goodness. No, don't hide behind goodness. Now, a lot of people do that. They have a wholesome cause, the ecology, the rights for this group, for that group. And once they wearing that banner of goodness, they have no shame in being selfish, in being arrogant, in being vain, in oppressing other people, all in the name of a good cause. So careful with the idea of goodness. Goodness is a worldly phenomenon. It's not for sure. You cannot hide behind it. Now, if you like it, go ahead, enjoy it. I like it as well. I very much like goodness. And goodness as a valuable has a value nowadays, which is very interesting, because you can measure the value of something by how useful it is, but also by how rare it is. For example, oxygen is very useful, very, very useful, but it's for free. Nobody pays nothing for oxygen. Why? Because all over the place. Like, why would I pay for it? Water is the same. Water, most places in the world, water is for free. Like, it's so abundant. Why would I bother paying for water just everywhere? Although it's extremely useful. Other things are not so abundant. Like, some things are rare to find. And something is very useful and very rare. The price shoots up like millions of dollars. Some sort of minerals, they're very useful, but it's very difficult to get. So they become very, very expensive. Nowadays is not a time when goodness abounds in the world. There's a lot more evilness. So goodness has a very special value nowadays. It's very valuable, very important. So if you understand that, then you might feel even more inclined towards being a good person, because it's pleasant. It's pleasant right here, right now. If you do it well, if you do it with wisdom, then it's pleasant right here, right now, not in the future, not in future birth. No, right here, right now. Buddhism doesn't have this idea of goodness being the same as sacrifice. Now, that idea is not compatible with Buddhism. Buddhism, goodness is not sacrificing. Goodness is not just good intention. Is not enough to be called goodness. Goodness has this characteristic of wisdom. Wisdom. So you do it in a way that is good for yourself and good for other people. You experience happiness here and now. And you create conditions for happiness in the future as well. For yourself, you experience happiness here and now. Other people experience happiness here and now. You experience happiness in the future. Other people also experience happiness in the future. So people who have a delight for happiness and they see value in goodness, that's enough reason for you to be a good person. No? You don't have to have the sacred message from God. You don't have to be the chosen person to tell everyone else what is right and what is wrong. You can conciliate the idea of being a good person with humbleness. You can be a good person and still have a charitable, like my English vocabulary is not enough to talk about this. I'm trying very hard to find words. I'm not doing a good job. Have a view of the world that let things exist. No, even bad people. Some time ago, like a person came to talk to me, ask for advice. Her son had died. Her son died from a cancer. A very young child and died from cancer. And then I said, well, I'm suffering enough, I cannot accept it. So, well, you should have a more charitable view of the world. Like you have to give more space for life to be as it is. You have to give space for things to happen in your life, even the death of your son. Now, you have to give space for life. Now, you cannot close. I only accept life in this limited space here. No, you cannot do that. It's not fair. No? Because life doesn't have an opinion about you. Life is not about you. Life is not there for your pleasure of suffering. No, people they are very self-centered, and they think everything happened because of me. Because of me that my son died. Because of me that it's raining. Because of me that you're going to cross the intersection, and then the green light becomes red. So, right when I was going to cross, it becomes red. Damn it! This is the kind of mentality that selfishness gives you. No, everything is because of me. Like. Right in my turn, they closed the door. When I was going to go there, they closed the shop. It's all me. So you have to have a more open, give more space for life to be what it is. In life, people die. In life, people get cancer. There was never a agreement saying that only other people's son will die, not yours. That never existed. You invented that in your own imagination. There was never such an agreement. So you create those ideas about life which are not true. And then life cannot provide the things you want because it was never possible. Now you invented by yourself like what life are going to be like this. I'm going to have a son. It's going to be great. You'll not get sick. You're going to behave very well. He's not going to suffer any inconvenience. Everything will be great. That is just your own imagination. Then life doesn't have anything to do with that. Like nobody asked life opinions about that. So you just create that in your own imagination. Then when it doesn't happen the way you want it, then you suffer, of course. So no, if you have a more humble, more accepting attitude towards life, and you can create a more harmonious view of the world in which things have the right to exist. Disease have the right to exist. Evilness have the right to exist. Evil people exist, and that's fine. There is a reason why they exist. They don't come from nowhere. They are not there to hurt you specifically. They did not come to exist for your sake. They only here to hurt you. It's not like that. It's not how it works. They exist because they also have desires. They have karma. They have their own past condition that lead them to exist right here, right now, in this situation. It's not everything existing around you. From their point of view, it's the opposite. You exist because of them. And you think, no, they exist because of me. That's not true. It's not true. It's just everybody just walking around in circles trying to bite their own tails, like trying to catch your own shadow. You're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. So, You don't have to paint a picture of good against evil to protect yourself. No. You can't protect yourself using wisdom, no, using intelligence. No. No. Good people exist, evil people exist, and then they meet in the world, we meet, and then we negotiate. No, a coexistence. No. You put limits to them, they put limits to you, and you two learn to respect each other, try to find a common ground where you both can exist. If you try to eradicate evil people, you become the evil person. And then there is a point when people must meet in the middle. There is a point when it's not for sure where that middle is. Nobody knows for sure. This is something you only find out once it happens. Before it happens, nobody knows for sure where that middle point is. You keep pushing. They push, you push a little bit, you give up a little bit, you push a little bit, until you find a point where balance becomes manifest. But it's not for sure where that point is. You have to keep trying to find that point. Apply a little bit of pressure, give a little space, push back a little bit, push forward a little bit. It's a little dance, You kind of dance together until you find the middle ground where both people can exist. It's not easy, no. Especially when people are very selfish, it's even harder. If people have like good wholesome qualities, then it's easier to find that balance. But when people are very selfish, it's very difficult. Imagine you are a very selfish, very very proud person, and your neighbor is also very proud. Difficult to live together. But if you both like very humble, very you don't get angry easily, you're not greedy, you're not vain, you don't have a lot of vanity, then it's so easy to live together. It's so easy, and even it isn't a pleasure thing to live together. So when people are very like egocentric, it's very hard to find balance. But yet, you don't have an option. You have to try. You have to be patient. You keep trying. Eventually things change, because like I said, nothing lasts forever. Everything is impermanent. Even goodness, even evilness, both are impermanent. So now is a time when evilness prosper. In goodness, it's very hard to sustain. Like for example, if you live in a very dry location, it's hard to grow a tree. If you live in a wet location like where I live, it just trees and plants growing everywhere. You can even call it a pest. Everywhere you go, they start sprouting everywhere. Other places really, really hard to make a single tree grow. It has a lot of effort. Have to protect it. It's very frail. Anything can kill it. So now is a time when goodness doesn't really grow very easily. It doesn't grow very strong. It's very frail, very difficult to sustain. But it is still possible. If you still have faith, if you still have hope, if you still have vision of the why goodness is better than evilness, then it is still worth the effort. It is possible. It is, and it's like I said, there's this funny phenomena that the more it becomes difficult to find goodness, the more valuable it is. So that is an incentive to develop goodness as well. When something is very valuable, the effort to develop it becomes worth it. It becomes very worth it. Even a little bit of goodness becomes very valuable. Just being polite to people, just saying good morning to people becomes very valuable. Depends on where you are. If you are in a very dry place, if you are in a very hostile place, you just wake up one morning, say your neighbor said, good morning, and then it changes his whole day, So it's a simple gesture like that. Other places say good morning, say, yeah, sure. Of course you say good morning. Everybody say good morning. Why shouldn't you say good morning? But if you say good morning, people are very dry, very angry. It can have a value that difficult to estimate how valuable that is. So that is a very good reason, because I know, like, it's harder to be a good person nowadays, true. But on the other side, any little bit of goodness that you have is 3 times, 4 times, 5 times more valuable than before. So, if you look at it from the right point of view, it is even more worth the effort to be a good person right here, right now, in difficult times like this. It's even more valuable, even more important, even more rewarding to be a good person right here, right now. But, it becomes tricky, You need more wisdom. You cannot be lazy, good person. Like in Brazil, sometimes people say, well, the important thing has to have good intention. No, that's not enough. Just good intention is not enough. Maybe sometime in the past, when everybody was very wholesome, very nice, just good intention was enough. Nowadays it's not enough. Now, like I said, being guided by good intentions, people have killed millions of people in the past. Like whole populations have been exterminated from the world due to good intentions. So don't trust good intentions. No. Find a way to be a good person and be humble. Find a way to be a good person and don't hate evil people. No, give them space to exist. You don't know if you have not been an evil person like them before. You don't know if the path for them to become a good person is this evilness that they are doing right now. Right now they're doing evil things. They're going to suffer the consequences of that. This is just a natural thing. There's not a question somebody will punish them. It's just nature. If you go out into the rain, you're going to get wet. Getting wet is a punishment. No, it's just nature. Water is wet. If you expose yourself to water, you get wet. It's just natural. So good and evilness also work the same way. You don't need to hate anybody, even evil people. Evil people, you just protect yourself against them. They have the right to exist, but so does you. You have the same right as they do. They have the right to exist. You also have the right to exist. So you got to interact and find this middle ground. You don't let them destroy you, but you also don't try to destroy them. You're trying to find in the middle where you both can exist. See, try your best. Try your best. It's not easy. It's hard. But like I said, no matter how hard it is, still it is worth it. It is valuable. And you hear like stories of these great masters. They were born still as a child. They already have this vision of this enchantment towards the world. They very soon, still when they were a child, they already see the world is just a illusion. They lean towards develop the mind, develop the wholesome state of the mind. They don't have any desire towards worldly things. Very nice. But how can you prove to me that these people were born like that? Because they have gone many times through like worldly life before. I have met many teachers in Thailand, many masters that I believe were very wise. And I even heard sometimes they talking about their past lives. Some of them seems to be the case, can remember past lives. And they tell their stories of a past lifetime. It's only stories of being foolish, being stupid, doing wrong things, suffering like hell. I have one of the teachers that I know like is have very good sense of humor. So you hear him telling the story, you just die laughing because it's so funny the way he tells the story. But if you actually look at it from a distance, it's a very sad story. But he tells the story because he managed to leave it all behind. When he looks back, for him it's just hilarious. The whole thing is just hilarious. But it was a lot of suffering. A lot of suffering with falling in love with somebody, losing that person, and difficulties in life. Like basically what he say, he suffered so much that he got tired of it. He got tired of suffering, and then his mind started to incline towards liberation. So he even say like it talks about one person who used to be his his loved one in many lifetimes in past, and she treated him so badly, like he suffered so much that now he feels gratitude thanks to her being so selfish, make me suffer so much. Then my mind starts to turn away from the world and toward liberation. So don't be too quick to judge. Maybe it's just the way it is. Maybe everything is just fine. Maybe the world is just the way it is supposed to be. If people are in this cycle of they are infatuated by evilness, how can the world be good? If people are infatuated with evilness and they don't suffer the consequences of their evilness, how can they get over it? How can they ever become a good person? So there is a point of view where everything is fine, everything is okay, everything is exactly how it's supposed to be. No, there's nothing to be fixed. There's nothing that needs to be erased from the face of the earth. There is no person that needs to be killed. There is no people that need to disappear. There is no evilness that need to be erased. Only goodness can prevail. Not true, not true at all. Evilness and goodness are just two different stages of the same phenomena. That phenomenon is called samsara. So there is a time where it's mostly good, less evil. There is a time where it's most evil, less good. The same way there is day is more characterized by light. Night is more characterized by darkness. But night is not evil. Night is just night. It's just the way it is. There's nothing evil about the night. There's nothing particularly good about the day. They work together. They just work together. They're just different sides of the same thing. The planet twisting around itself, twisted around. It's just a planet. There's no... From this point of view, there is no day, there is no night. It's just a point of view. It's just the name that you call this rotation of the earth. So good and evil can be the same. And then there is a right way to present yourself towards life where those things can exist, and it's fine. It is okay. It's fine. You don't have to destroy anybody. You don't have to hurt anyone. You can just take care of yourself, protect yourself when protection is necessary. Be wise. Living in the world, there is a right way of living in the world. When the world there is thieves, then there is a right way to behave to protect yourself against thieves. If the world there is violent people, you protect yourself against violent people. But it's just a matter of intelligence or wisdom. It doesn't have to be hatred. It doesn't have to be me against them. You can learn to respect each other, even in our evilness, even in our goodness. We can have a way. There is ways we can live together and learn to respect each other, so that we can all keep moving forward in our journeys. So I'll give this much as a reflection. Hope this is useful. And then if there is any questions, anything, you're welcome to make it. This is also very good to practice meditation. If you sit meditation with the enemy, you say, these thoughts are my enemy. Then it becomes anger, it becomes desire. My own experience now, it really, when you put the whole thing down, just stop worrying about, just stop thinking in terms of black and white, yes and no, just acceptance, just very, very open and sincere acceptance. The kind of acceptance, you can't fake it. You cannot pretend to accept. You cannot convince yourself intellectually to accept. You really have to open your heart. It's something which is not an intellectual achievement. It's something from the heart, really. But meditation is a great place to train that. If this is too vague, everything I said, this is very nice, but how do I do that? Well, use meditation as a laboratory. Try to use meditation as a little laboratory. So you can do, if you do that in your meditation, you can do that in the rest of the world. But the other way around is also true. No? If you can do that in the world, you can do that in your heart as well. Everything it's all the same. There's no difference. It's all the same. Any questions?
Hello, Ajahn. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for this talk. It was really insightful. I've found myself during your talk going to the point of anxiety and anxious energy, mainly stemming from the body, sometimes not even sure the origin. And I find myself dealing a lot with this, where stress and anxiety makes it harder for better mind states, which then create more anxiousness and anxiety from being able to notice this. And it's kind of like a mini samsara of a chicken and an egg. And a lot of times I do not know how to stop it. And it sometimes even makes meditation itself not being valuable or positive, but actually detrimental and causing more. So if you have any tips about this situation.
Yes, you're right. Like if you sit meditation like that, it can be harmful. You can, your mind doesn't really have. This is one thing. Like once you start to learn about the mind, one experience that I think a lot of people have, you can see how loose mind is. It doesn't have really any true foundation. It just loose in the air like that. It can go anywhere. If you don't guide the mind properly, you just start to spin into negative states, and then it goes all the way to the bottom. It doesn't have any safety measures. It doesn't have any safety, dispositive that just kind of cuts the energy. Usually, if you're not careful, the mind goes all the way to the bottom. So it's good that you see this happen. Oh, this is not good. I have to do something. I can't. No, if you feel very this is getting out of control, just stop meditating. Just get up, stop meditating. Don't let your mind. It is good to preserve your tranquility. So don't get too greedy to practice meditation to the point where you start to get a psychiatric problem. Some people are too greedy, they start to get problems. If you see it's not doing you good, then stop it, no problem, stop it. Go do something else. Find another way to deal with it, to work with your mind. You can work with your mind many different ways. Meditation is one tool to work with the mind, but it's not the only one. But if you want to try meditation, I would suggest to you this. Stop seeing those unpleasant mind states as your enemy. Accept them. They have the right to exist. They are there for causing conditions. Something happened in the past. Now they are there. They didn't come from nowhere. They are not there with the intention of hurting you. Most of the time they are there trying to protect you. Actually, it's just they are not very clever. They're not very intelligent, but they're not necessarily evil. So you can see it, like, for example, in Brazil, a lot of people is Catholicism. Catholicism, people, they have the duty to feel ashamed of the self, feeling guilty. They feel guilty all the time. You were born, therefore you're guilty. Now, they say the moment you were born, you are guilty. I don't know. I don't know much about it, but I very heavy hearted, always feeling guilty, always feeling, and they ask that a lot, like what do I do with this feeling of guilt? I tell people, say guilt is nothing more than just like your mind trying to be better. Your mind doesn't want you to be worse. Your mind wants you to be better. The problem is like guilt is good enough to make you a good person in a social level. If you feel guilty, if you're afraid of doing evil things, but you're gonna feel guilty, this heavy feeling in the heart, you're ashamed of yourself. That will stop you from stealing. That will stop you from hurting other people. But that will not lead you to a happy mind. That your mind will always feel heavy, always feel a lot of friction inside. So you can see like guilty, it's okay, like it's good intention. It's just that there is a better way of doing that. So if you feel certain that you are a good person, you normally don't steal from people, you don't hurt other people, you're not a violent person, you don't lie to people, you don't take drugs, you're an honest person, then you can, like little by little, let go of that guilt and start to develop trust towards wholesome mind states. So you replace, as you feel more and more confident in your capacity to be a good person, you can abandon those other painful mind states. But you don't have to look at them as enemies. You say, okay, thank you very much. Thank you for protecting me until now. You did a good job. Here I am. I am a person. I have 2 arms, 2 legs. I have a job. I have a girlfriend. I have a son. I have a daughter. Thank you. But now I have to move forward. Okay, thank you. Don't try to paint those mind states as enemies. No, they are there. They are worried. They're trying to protect you. So fellows, thank you very much, but relax. I'm just sitting here. That's fine. I'm just sitting here. Like I'm not sitting in the abyss. Like I'm not sitting in the edge of a tall building. This room here is plenty safe. These people here seem to be good people. It's fine. You're just sitting. Relax. Just try to have a friendship attitude towards them, so they can feel, okay, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. You don't need to do anything. They're trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. So just teach them little by little, with patience, with friendship. Just, hey, people, relax. We're just sitting here. It's fine. Also, sometimes this requires a little bit of time. Like you just, for example, you sit meditation, you plow through that anxiety. You keep sitting until the end of meditation, like half an hour. You sat half an hour. After half an hour, look back and say, see, we're fine. We didn't die. Nothing happened. We're just sitting here. Nothing happens. It's fine. Next time you sit meditation, remember that. When you sit there, say, hey, we haven't done this before. We haven't done this. Just yesterday we did this. What happened? Nothing. So today nothing will happen. Relax. It's fine. We're just sitting here. Not doing anything. I'm not killing everybody. Not robbing anyone. I'm not lying to anyone. We're just sitting in silence. What's the big deal? Little by little, talk to yourself. Teach yourself. Use like this kind of wholesome attitude. Try to relax. Try to. It is like you're transferring your trust from one set of mind states to another set of mind states. Now you're going to learn how to rely in different friends, different mind states. Now they will protect you. Wisdom will protect you. Intelligence will protect you. Humbleness will protect you. Friendship will protect you. Honesty will protect you. So you letting go from one set of, you can say you are growing up. You're letting go of your being a teenager and turning little by little toward being an adult. So it takes a little bit of time. It's not something you just do from day over to the other day. It might take a few weeks, a few months, a few years, but no, you do it in a wholesome manner. It shouldn't be too much painful. It can be fun, actually. It's kind of fun. If you do it with attitude of friendship and a little bit of sense of humor, it's a lot of fun, actually. You're going to miss it. One day when your mind starts bothering, you're going to miss it because it was fun. Like the mind starts to create a lot of problems and you just like for example, the mind creates anger and then you go there and you undo the anger, the mind becomes peaceful. No? You keep doing that a lot. It's kind of fun, actually. Just sit there, see the mind trying to create problems and the mind abandoning those problems, and then the mind becomes peaceful. It's kind of, once it stop happening, you kind of miss it. It was kind of fun, actually.
Thank you so much.
It's important to do that because you not only you want to be more wise, have a function. You have to function as a human being based on wholesome mind states. That's pretty much what we call being a wise person. So that is desirable of itself, but also you want to be independent. You want to be self-reliant. So that's why I say part of the reason why I said it is fun to do that process. As you do it, you start to feel, oh, I can do it myself. I don't have to pray to any God to give me, like when I was a kid, my mother would get angry with me and my brothers. She would scream, say, oh God, give me patience. In Buddhism, that doesn't work now. You develop patience. You don't ask patience from God. You develop patience. No, it's something. So it's good when you it's a very, very interesting feeling. It become, the more you do it, the more self-reliant you become. You become more relaxed. Like, so I don't need anything. I can do it myself. I don't have to buy anything. I don't have to go to any sacred place. I don't need any mystic spirit to come and help you. It's just very simple. Everything is so simple, so obvious. It's so nice. It's so simple. Like it's it's very nice. It's a lot of fun doing it.
Yes. For the talk.
Yes, I can hear.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I understand the concept of accepting evil because it's there. So what can we do? But if I understood correctly, you say and periods with
Sorry, you're on.
so sorry, I can't hear you for some reason.
Ajahn, we cannot hear you. Maybe you can.
Oh, sorry. Your
Yeah.
sound is breaking up. Can you try to turn off your camera? Maybe you get better if you turn off the camera.
You hear me correctly? Or not so much?
No,
We couldn't hear you also. So.
What I'm asking is about good and evil, whether they will always prevail. I mean, yes, we need to accept that evil and good exist, but if whatever we will do will not change anything, except perhaps for a personal level, I mean, what's the point? I mean, so yeah, there will be perhaps a few people enlightened in the world, but the majority will not, and the majority will go through endless periods of good and evil. So I find it to be disparaging, not so awful.
Well, it's not the case that there's not if we, there's nothing we can do. Like we do our part. Like I said, like we do our share. Like we like we like goodness, so we do goodness. That's it. No. What I'm talking about, and also remember those things they are very impermanent. So there's not the case. Well, there's nothing. We just have to accept it. Not even that much. That is also not even that much. That is making things too complicated. It's just like well, I want to be a good person in this world. To be a good person in this world, I need to live. I need to have a job. I need to have friends. I need to have a house. I need to protect myself. So you do those things in a in a wholesome manner, in a sane manner, without going crazy. You just keep it simple. Don't. You don't have to paint the picture as this big war between good and evil. No, you 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 like goodness, so you develop goodness. No, you exist in the world, so you have to behave in a manner appropriate to the world where you exist. No. Different country, there's different realities. Now, in Brazil, there's one reality. I am in the countryside of Brazil. Over here is very fine, it's very calm and peaceful. If I were in the big city in Brazil, completely different. You have to have a completely different attitude. So you live in an appropriate manner to the place where you are. You're not. People also, one thing mistake that people make a lot. They only think about being good in terms of other people. They never remember to be good to themselves. According to the Buddha, these things they have layers. No, they have a hierarchy. Hierarchy. So the first level, yourself. You have to take good care of yourself. That is primordial. This is to come before anything else. Because if you don't take good care of yourself, you won't be able to help anyone else. You need to be good to yourself so you can be a wholesome person. So then you can be wholesome to other people as well. Everybody wants to be good to other people. It's like I remember some years ago, like maybe a lot of years ago, they made I don't know what it was, but they asked for volunteers to go to Mars. People who want to sit in a rocket and go to Mars to start a colony in Mars, with the detail that you're gonna go to Mars, but there's no way to come back. You're gonna go, you're gonna die there. They're asking volunteers to go to Mars and die. There were thousands and thousands of people who volunteered to go to Mars. But then I think to myself, this is how much people are out of touch with themselves. Thousands of people want to go to Mars and die. But they ask how many people want to look at themselves, go to a quiet place and sit in silence. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody can. It's too much. They are afraid of themselves more than they are afraid to go to Mars. So people, even when they think in terms of goodness, they want to be a good person. They only want to help other people. Dealing with myself, oh no, that's too complicated, that's too scary, I don't want to do it. They think taking good care of themselves is selfishness. They don't understand, they don't understand the nature of goodness. They don't understand it. They can't differentiate between one and the other. So they only help other people. But that's not how it works. You have to be good to yourself first of everything. First of everything, take good care of yourself. That means also protecting yourself from other people. Learning how to live in the place where you live. In the place where you live, you cannot go around carrying money in your hand, so you put the money in the pocket. Try to be discreet. Don't use a golden watch. Don't go to that street. That street is dangerous. Don't go there. So you don't go there. Now, this is a way of taking care of yourself in a world where selfishness, where violence exists. And then being a good person in this world, little by little, you start to expand. Help your family, help your friends, help people you don't know about, to the point you can someday you might even help your enemy. No, but you go there is no there's it's like you go expanding. You start with yourself, towards your family, towards your friends, towards your neighbors, towards the people you don't know, until you get all the way to the people you hate. So it's something you do like in a intelligent manner. There is you have to build in you have to build goodness in such a way that it is strong and firm. Now, if you try to go too big, too quick, it's weak and easily breaks. No. So that's it. That's how I think, in my opinion. That's how is a smart way to think about it. If you start to thinking, as two opposing energies in the world, and evilness will prevail, goodness will prevail, this is all create confusion. This is all, it's not very useful thinking like that. I think, like I say, keep it simple, keep it humble. Have a sense of contentment of this much goodness is enough. No, this much goodness is enough. Once this much goodness is enough, maybe I can expand. But let's start from this one. Let's start by stop hurting myself, stop attacking myself with desires that can never be fulfilled, with expectations that are unrealistic, with rejecting reality, forcing myself to live in a way that is just not realistic. No, making peace with life, making peace with my body, making peace with my mind. No, become a good friend to yourself. Now, once you have conquered that much, then you will know. When you have conquered that much, you don't need any more explanations. From that point, you are in perfect position to help everyone else, because it's very simple. That's what I'm telling you. If you make it complicated, you're going to miss it. It's too simple. If you make it complicated, you're going to miss it. No, this is the kind of situation. Have a little bit of faith. Have a little bit of faith of being a good person right here. From here, you'll see everything else. Don't worry about it. I promise you will see it. This is. I don't like to ask people to have faith, but sometimes you have to ask. It's just there's no other way around it. Sometimes you just have to ask people. Have a little bit of trust and try it. Try and see what happens.
But to have faith in what? I mean, that
things will improve. In goodness right here. Being good towards yourself. Take good care of yourself. Stop hurting yourself. Become a good person right here. No. How do you know if you are hurting yourself? Very simple. Try to sit in silence for 30 minutes. See if your mind start to attack yourself, or if the mind becomes peaceful and calm, or if the mind will become impatient, or if the mind will become angry, or if the mind will become worried. This is all the mind attacking yourself, turning against yourself, stopping you from being happy. No. Try to sit for 30 minutes. See what happens. If you cannot be peaceful in sitting in silence for 30 minutes, then I promise you your mind is working against you. And that's something you have to abandon. You have to learn how to stop doing that. Stop hurting yourself. Be a friend towards yourself. From that point, everything becomes so much easier to understand how is the useful way of helping other people. It becomes so much easier to understand.
Thank you.
I'm going to speak for myself, but I bet some other people here maybe had a similar thought. Because here in Israel, we faced in the last 2 years, year and a half, tremendous violence and hatred and evilness. I'm talking about the war, and I also am speaking about the politics, and there's a lot of protests and a lot of bad blood between a significant part of the population and its government, and it sounds very maybe too simple, just to surrender and to let everything go. So I would like to ask if you can elaborate a little bit more within this context. I mean, about a very extreme evilness and extreme situation that I believe, our good people are experiencing, and other good people experience that evilness on their own bodies and families and communities.
Yeah, like I said, we have to learn how to live in the situation that you are. You are living in a very difficult situation. Like, it's not easy at all. Like, but it's not a unique situation. No? That every like many places in the world, it's just a constant state of fear, constant state of violence. Like, for example, in Brazil is one of the most anxious people in the world is Brazilian people. They're always afraid of violence. They're always afraid of the economic situation is so fragile. Anytime, you can lose your house. Anytime you can lose your job. Anytime there's this constant fear in the air in Brazil. People is always slow burning in the state of fear, the state of anxiety. And this not just in Brazil. There's many places where people just live like this. It's a constant state of anxiety, worry. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Always a constant concern, constant worry. And then so it is tough. No, it is not easy. No, it is, like I said, it's not a place where it's easy to be a good person. It is a time in a situation that is difficult. It is fragile. It's not only, it's difficult to establish goodness. Even if established, it dies so easy. It's like a little plant growing, somebody steps on it. So it's hard. It requires not only this kind of determination, but patience to start again. Do it and fail and start again. Do it, fail, start again. Now, it might take several efforts, several tries, several different attempts. But like I said, if you have this kind of this humbleness and this vision, this is important. Like, somebody needs to do this. Society cannot exist without some good people. Good people need to exist in society. Without good people, society will crumble, or you will become something that is not worth it anymore. Like, society is for the sake of human beings to live. Society is a human construct with the purpose of people to live inside the society. But some society is so toxic. That's why would you want to live there? You might as well just go somewhere else. Or what's the point? It's just not worth it. So good people need to exist. Somebody needs to be good. If no one else is doing it, then even more important that somebody does it. Like many years ago here in Brazil, at first, when I first came to Brazil, we were going to establish ourselves in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is a very violent city. A lot of crime, a lot of gangs, a lot of corruption. So we had a place in Rio de Janeiro, and around around the place where we were, there was a lot of poor neighborhoods, a lot of violence. When I first got there, I could hear gunshots at night, every night. I could hear people screaming, asking for help. I could hear gunshots. And I asked the lady, what about those gunshots I hear? Don't worry about it. No worry, Ajahn, this is normal. What? This is normal? This is even worse. Like, if you say this is normal, this is actually worse than I thought. Perhaps there was something special that just happened. No, this is normal. So, wow, this is normal. And then I told them, listen, this is not okay. Like, this is, someday they're gonna come here, and gonna rob people inside the temple. I have a duty as a monk. I have a duty. If I am in a place where I know is dangerous, I have a duty to tell people not to come here. This is my duty as a monk. This is in the Vinaya, in the monastic rule. It has a rule that says that. So I told them, listen, the first time these people come here and rob, make any of this kind of violence happens inside the monastery, we're going to close this down and I'm going to go back to Thailand, because this is unacceptable. This is not suitable. This is not a suitable place to have a monastery. They say, don't worry, Jay, we never had any problems in the past. Okay, never, well, fine. So go along with it. After a while, it didn't take much, maybe 1 month or so, they broke into the monastery with machine guns, to steal. Like they stole the cell phone, they saw the motorcycle parked in the front of the monastery. Who's the owner of the motorcycle? They asked for the keys. No, 2 kids high on drugs with machine guns. No, it's a very like surreal situation. Like children, like they must be like 14, 15 years old, and they were high on drugs. You can see they were really like drugged up. So then in the end nobody got hurt. It was very quick. They stole the cell phone, they stole the money, they stole the car, and they left. So when that happened, so I told, well, like I said, we had to close the place down. I'm going back to Thailand. No, it's not suitable to have a monastery here. And then everybody became very, very sad. Everybody lost hope. Everybody lost energy. Then I also wanted to be sad, like, I said, well, this is very sad. It's a very sad situation. I also want to lose hope. But I saw, like, look, everybody lost hope. Everybody's sad. If I lose hope, then we're done for. Like, I felt like I'm going to give up my right to be sad, and I'm going to be peaceful in the middle of all this sadness. In the middle of all this sadness, as a gesture of renunciation, I will be peaceful. That was very important for us to be able to regroup and then don't give up. Everybody gave up. Everybody lost their hope. I wanted to lose my hope as well. I remember like sitting there thinking about it. Oh, I want to be sad as well. It's such a sad situation. I also want to be sad. But I said, well, I can't be sad. If I get sad, then we're done for. This everybody, there's no hope anymore. If I get sad, then we lost. No. So I renounced my right to be sad. So somebody needs to be calm. Somebody needs to be peaceful. For example, imagine if every tree disappears, somebody has to have a little seed in their hands to replant the trees. If every tree disappears and no seeds are left, there's no way for the forest to grow up again. Somebody needs to be peaceful. Somebody needs to be calm. Somebody needs to give up their right to be angry in face of violence. Somebody needs to give up their right to be angry in the face of violence. You can see it as a gesture of renunciation. I will give up my right to be angry. I will be peaceful right here. I will be calm right here. I will keep calm. Because these are the people who will plant the seeds of a rebirth of a wholesome society, a wholesome society. Somebody needs to do it. If you don't want to be the person, fine. I don't think it is your duty to be that person. But somebody needs to do that. Otherwise, you are lost. Like your whole society will burn into something worse than your own enemies. Your enemies are terrible. But if you don't watch out, you're going to become worse than your enemies. So what's the point? It's not worth it. So yes, I get it's hard, it's difficult, it's irritating. Protect yourself. If you need to protect yourself from the news, protect yourself from the news. Now, protect yourself from other people's anger. And learn how to find peace right here. Now, look back right here. This is the place of peace. The world is not a peaceful place. The mind can be a peaceful place if you know how to do it properly. And then once the mind is peaceful, the world is actually not that bad. Actually, like the world is just it's not the way you want it, but it's fine. The way it is also fine. And remember, like, don't notice that I know that people always fall into extremes. You say something, they understand yes or they understand no. They find it hard to see between yes and no, black and white, good and evil. I'm telling you again and again that you have to be realistic towards the situation where you are. You are in the place of violence, you protect yourself against violence. You have the right to exist. It's not only evil people who has the right to exist. You have the right to exist. You have the right to exist and protect yourself. But just don't paint the picture. Just don't surrender your mind towards that bilateral thinking of good and evil, enemy and friend. Though that's not a wholesome place for your mind to exist. The situation is the way it is. You deal with it using intelligence, using the resources that you have. But just don't lose sight that in the end we are all together in the same place. Like, don't matter which side of the fence you are, we're all brothers in birth, age, sickness, and death. Everybody wants to have a family. Everybody wants to have a house. Everybody wants to eat. So right now we're negotiating our existence, but we have to come to a place where we can coexist. The idea of only one will prevail, the only one will disappear, even if you succeed into that, I think you won't. But suppose you succeed into that, to succeed in that idea, you have to become worse than your enemy. So I think what's the point of doing that? No. So now don't choose like one people or the other people. Choose goodness. No, don't choose one political party or the other political party. Choose goodness. Try to be a good person in the middle of all this confusion. Even if you have to be very quiet, even have to just shut up and stand back a little bit until people calm down. When they calm down a little bit, maybe you can, excuse me, can I say something? Can I have an opinion as well? Now, maybe you have to wait a little bit before you give your opinion, but that's fine. Now, just wait, be patient, protect what you have in here. Now, whenever you see somebody who's open to something else, talk to them, try to help them, and keep it simple. Like it's a very, very complicated situation. Don't let yourself be dragged into that complication. Keep it simple. Keep it here. Keep it simple. Because this is one way you lose track of reality. It's so much complication. There's so much different ideas and different theories of what's good, what is wrong, what is right, and what is the right way, the wrong way. You can be lost in that many explanations and ideas, and you lose sight of the obvious. No, I recommend you keep it simple. I know it's very complicated. Don't let yourself be dragged into that complication. Just be a good. That's what I'm talking before. Like, just be a good person right here. Like, just be a good person in your house. Be a good person with your friends. Start from that. Don't lose that. No, from that, like, you can little by little try to find opportunities. To expand. Sometimes it's better to wait. When you find an opportunity, then you can join in the conversation. It's not easy. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. It makes sense. You're not supposed to be thinking everything is very easy, it's very convenient. It's not. It is very hard. It's complicated. It's confusing. It's hard. But don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Ajahn, we have another question here.
Thank you very much, Tan Ajahn. I will help translate. אני אשמח לשמוע מה חדש אצלכם בשטח, קדמת לבנייה, מה תנועת קהילה שהיא סביבך.
So, Ajahn, the question was Noah asking here from Tel Aviv. She would be happy to learn a bit about the developments in your monastery and the community around you, if you maybe can share a bit of the updates.
Well, there's nothing much. Like we finished building the monastery. We don't have, everything is done. Like the monastic huts are done. The kitchen is done. The sala is done. We got the Buddha image, very beautiful. We did everything. We planting trees. The trees are big now. I'm looking out the window here. It's all trees. Like before, it was just grass. Now there's a lot of trees growing up. It's all good. I think in terms of building a monastery, we're done. We're done. There's nothing much to do here. Now it's just keep teaching and keep practicing, keep teaching. Everything is going well. Like it's very. My teachers, Ajahn Chah, Ajahn Lian, Luang Por Piak, they always emphasize a lot that this thing. If you pay attention, this kind of relates to what I'm saying before. It's another dimension of what I was saying before. Have faith in the heart, have faith in the mind, have faith in Dhamma. So a little while I was in Chile. Now I was there to translate for Luang Por Piak. I went to teach in Chile, so I went together. And then when I was there, that this kind of the head of the Buddhist society in Chile, in Santiago, he came and asked me, "Oh, John, how do you make? How did you do in Brazil? Like, how can you establish Buddhism is a new country?" I answered, "I don't know. How the hell would I know? Why are you asking me? Like, why do I know about that? I know nothing about that. What I did, I just practiced meditation. Like, I just developed my own heart. I developed my own mind. Now, this I know how to do. Like, doing that, the rest arises of itself. No. Now, if you develop your heart, you develop your mind, people notice that. They interested. They want to know, how did you do it? Then you tell them how do you do it. Now, and once they learn how to do it, they start doing it themselves. When they do it themselves, they see the benefit into that. When they see the benefit, they say, "Oh, what can we do to have this here? Like, how can you do so we can have a place where we can study that, but this knowledge can prosper?" So they start to develop an interest in buying some land, building a monastery, planting trees, building huts, building a meditation hall. This always like one thing leads to the other. No? So the same thing now about goodness and evilness. Now, if you do goodness here, there's a next stage of goodness, then the next stage, and then the next, until it becomes a society, until we reach society in the bigger picture. So, but it always starts from here. You have to have faith in this one. This is the orange. This is the like I said, there is a hierarchy how you do it. For example, if you're going to build a house, you have to build the foundation first. You cannot be obsessed about building the walls and the roof, and then you neglect the foundation, because if you don't do a good foundation, the whole house, you can even build the roof, very beautiful roof, very beautiful, very colorful, really nice. Like in Thailand, they have this very beautiful like adornment in the roof, like gold and crystals, and beautiful, indescribable. Like, it's really impressive. But if you don't build a good foundation, don't matter how beautiful the roof is, it's going to fall and you're going to hurt whoever is inside. It is worse than not having a roof. You will be better off without a roof than building a roof without a good foundation. So goodness or monastery or Buddhism, it has to have a foundation, which is the heart, the soul, the matter is right here. If you just worry about fixing the world outside, that act of fixing the world will become evil. You have to come from here. From here, you slowly expand, The same thing about making a monastery. You just practice meditation. You learn how to make your mind peaceful. Once you do that, you slowly talk to people about it. When people hear about it and they see what you're talking about, they themselves start to get interested in building a monastery. Now, I don't know how to build a monastery because I didn't do it. It was a lot of people helping out. I just kind of giving. Most of my job here is saying no to people. That's the main core of my job is this. I say no. People come with crazy ideas and say, no, don't do that. That's most of my job, actually. No, I don't really do much anything. I just say no. People can we do something? No, no, don't do that. Can we put they wanted to, I don't know, there are many people come with different ideas. I said, no, just keep it simple. Because I have a little bit more experience than other people around here. So I know I have a little bit more vision of how this is useful towards Chitta Bhavana, developing your mind, and what is not very useful towards that. So I try to keep it to a extent that is useful towards developing your own mind. But I don't do things exactly the way I want. Even if I don't like it, but I say, well, I don't like it, but I have to admit this is useful, so I let people do it. But if I say, well, I don't think this is going to be useful, so we don't do it. I tell people not to do it. All right. Is that enough for today?
Maybe we'd like to thank you so much for your generosity and compassion and for the time you dedicated to us. And I think it's very meaningful, and also about you thinking about us and sending regard during these stormy times. So with a lot of gratitude and hoping that we will have a chance to meet again in the future. Thank you very much, Ajahn.
Okay, wish you all very well. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.